What's going on? And welcome to a project that has been in the making for a long, long time. It is a Let's Play series. I wouldn't really call it a Let's Play, but it's a series of Elite Dangerous. We're gonna go from pretty much zero to hero. We're gonna go from the very beginning in a Sidewinder, the beginning ship with only 1,000 credits to our name, which is enough. Which is nothing. Like it's nothing. To hopefully to an Anaconda, which is one of the most expensive ships in the game. Um, I'm pretty sure it's the second or third most expensive ship in the game, and is the second largest ship in the entire game. Along the way, we'll be doing a little bit of everything. Maybe some bounty hunting, some mining, some piracy, even. Who knows? But I'm gonna start out on the Horizons Sidewinder. This will sort of also be a tutorial-esque series for those of you who have never seen this game before, or have never played this game before, or are thinking about picking up this game and just want to know how to begin. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at this game. Far from it. I've made it all the way up. For those of you who've played this game, I've made it all the way up to a vulture. I mean, not a vulture. A vulture. So I consider myself semi-competent. Um, I think the most money I've ever had is like 33 million, I think. I don't remember. But I've worked pretty hard in this game. I've done a little bit of everything. And I'm just going to help people who are just starting out make money and succeed in this universe. So I would start as a new commander, but pretty much these two starts are pretty much the same. The only thing different is, by the way, I only have this because of the Horizons Season Pass, which if you're going to get it, get it. Like if you're going to get it as in Elite Dangerous, I definitely recommend getting Horizons. This pretty much gives you a wealth of new content. You get to land on planets. You get the SRV, which is a little rover that allows you to, traverse said planets. You get a fighter bay where you can hold, little ship AIs or, you know, other ships, just smaller ships that you can use, or AI, like I said, could fly for you to help you out in battle. There's all types of stuff that is really useful. You also get to create your character, like personalize your character, and you get to um, fly with more than one person in the ship, multi-crew ships. But yeah, so we pretty much have the stock Sidewinder and the Horizon Sidewinder. Horizon Sidewinder has pretty much just a bigger hold for cargo and a vehicle bay with the SRV, and of course a planetary approach suite, which is pretty much allows you to get into planets. And the SRV is your little rover buddy that, like I said. And pretty much the only other thing that differs this start from this start is the starting location. I start at Asalius Primus, whatever, which I don't know where the hell that is. And here you just start with a stock Sidewinder, so you don't start with a cargo hold, you don't start with a vehicle bay, you don't start with the approach suite. You pretty much just get 1,000 credits and a Sidewinder, and that's it. And you start in a random federal system. Speaking about the federal system, you're probably wondering what the hell that means for those of you who never played this game before, because I sure as hell did not know. So as we get into this, I'm going to explain to you what the hell that means. So first of all, we got to name our ship. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. Oh, whoops. And what should we name our ship? Well, it's a Sidewinder, and that means that we're probably gonna be out of this thing within the first episode, because this shit is ass. Like, this ship is garbage. It's the starter ship, and I mean, you could use it for hauling some shit. And I know a few people that have kitted this thing out for exploring because it's just disposable. It's literally free. So, it can be used for stuff like that. But otherwise, we want to get the hell out of this thing ASAP. So I really don't think it needs a name. But, you know, if the game's gonna make us name a ship, we're gonna name it. We're gonna name it the SS, because we have to name it. We have to name it something SS. SS. Uh, hmm. The SS Bucket. We're gonna name it the SS Bucket because it's a bucket of shit. So we're gonna go in here. So back to my earlier topic. What does it mean by federal? First of all, you should wonder, how should I start? Because there are multiple ways to play Elite Dangerous. There's the training, which will teach you how to fly, which will teach you how to fight, fly, dock, SRV, and all that. Mine, all that stuff. There's training videos, and there's little challenge scenarios for those of you who want to feel like you have a big dick and you can take on everything the universe has for you. But the main play is going to be this. There's open play, which is live fire pretty much. You're with other people and they will fuck your shit up if you first start. I really recommend, if you're going to do anything, you know, illegal, crazy, and if you're like this channel and you're first starting out, I recommend you play on solo play, which is pretty much just you. There's private group, which is you and your friends. And I believe these servers are like always going. Like, you can start a private group and you can be offline and your friends can join. It's pretty much a custom server. It's the same thing as solo play, just with your friends. Arena, it's sort of like the TDM of this game, which I hate to say it like that because there really isn't Team TDM in this game. But Arena is pretty much just like, it's hard to explain. It's just like a free little mode. It's a side mode. It's not actually the game. It's I'll probably do a separate video on it if I could ever get into a game. Pretty much nobody plays this, and it's tacked onto the game for free. So yeah, but pretty much we're gonna start at solo play because as much as I think that they would leave me the fuck alone because I'm a noob, I'm pretty sure somebody in open play would blow me the fuck up. So we're gonna play in solo play. So, what should you know about the world of Elite Dangerous right at the beginning? Well, like I said, like I was trying to say before, there's the Federation, the Alliance, and the Empire. They're the three big factions. And then there's a whole bunch of little independent factions. And while it doesn't affect you right out the gate, it is something that you should think about all the time. See, you can pledge yourself to one of these factions. You can either be a part of the Federation, the Alliance, an independent, or the Empire. Like I said, the big factions. Once you join one of these factions, you can leave them at any time and join another faction. But it's not recommended. So here we are. We're in Baker's Prospect. In our ship. A little Sidewinder. There's a little feat. We can also customize ourselves via this side panel. This side panel gives you all your statistics about your faction reputation, your abilities. You have combat rank, trade rank, explorer rank, and then CQC rank, which is the arena. So we're not gonna worry about that. And pretty much you start out at harmless, penniless, and aimless. And as you explore more things, as you trade in more goods, and as you redeem more bounty vouchers and blow shit up, you get these ranks. And these ranks are sort of pointless, but at the same time pretty useful. They're pointless in the fact that they really don't mean anything. It's just sort of to gauge how much you've been doing and how long you've been doing something and how good you are at something. And a sort of visual metric. But they also determine what type of missions you can accept. For example, I'm harmless. And that means that I could do harmless missions and mostly harmless missions. And we'll get more into that when we first start getting our missions. But don't really worry about getting these things up too much. You'll get them over time, and they really don't determine a whole much. What does determine a lot is these superpowers tab, this reputation tab in general. Here you have your finance. It'll show you, your insurance, how much money you have, um, the cost of your ship, your cargo, the insurance on your cargo, and all that. And this is a pretty useful tab to just get a little gauge of how you're doing on the move. Here's your statistics of your ship, your money, and pretty much just overall statistics. Fines, smuggling, trading, mining, all of that stuff. You have your permits, which I'll get into way later, but pretty much permits allow you to get into places that you normally would not be able to fly into. And then we have our tab here that I'm going to keep up most of the time. This and this one. This one is your reputation with all the superpowers. Your factions in the system. And this is a pretty useful tab, and it's pretty much the default tab that you're going to keep most of the time. And pretty much this tab is pretty self-explanatory. There's your rank, which there's rank and reputation, which they seem like the same thing, and they kind of are, but at the same time they aren't. As you can see, the Alliance does not have a rank. That's because the Alliance, any of the Alliance factions, which I call pretty much the independent factions, because they're all pretty much independent, they work on a different system than the Federation and the Empire. Pretty much the Federation and the Empire are at war with each other. They're forever at war. And there's backstory behind this that you can go look up on the wiki. And this does have an impact on the game world. And each of the superpowers and each ruling house of the empires, because each of the empires are split into different branches. The Federation is split into sort of a conservative and liberal leader, and the empire is split into several other houses and families. And the Alliance is split even more between a whole bunch of independent people. So the rank pretty much determines your status in the empire, and this is actually pretty important because your rank determines your rewards from from the factions. For example, the empire at rank 1, the very beginning rank, when you pledge yourself to an empire faction, you automatically get access to the Imperial Eagle. In contrast, when you get rank 1 of the Federation, you don't get anything. You don't get a ship. But at rank 5, you get the Federal Dropship. And these go up several ranks, and they take a very long time to get up. And once you reach 100% in the rank bar, you get a rank up mission that'll elevate you to the next rank. Don't really worry about getting these up a whole ton and doing the missions, because even when you're at 100%, any progress you make continues to go to the next percent. Meaning that you could pretty much go from rank 1 to, I think, rank 10. I think there's 10 ranks. And it'll still say that you have no rank. You just have to do the missions. The reputation is pretty much self-explanatory. It's how much the faction likes you, which is pretty much the same as your rank. Reputation could go down, and I don't think rank can go down. I think that's the only difference between the two. So how do you get these two up? Well, you gotta do missions. How you do missions? Well, you go into starport services at any station. As you can see, we're at Azilius Primus, or Asilius Primus, however the hell you say it. It is a Federation-owned station, as you can see in the top left. It's exploited, which pretty much means that it's owned, but it's not, a core important world. It's sort of just a fringe sort of possession of Edmund Mud, or however the hell you say this man's name. Edmund Mahan, whatever. He is, of course, part of the Federation. You see our balance. You see what day it is. It is June 10th, 3303, 2241. And you have some news. You have the main ruling faction of the station. You have outfitting, which is pretty much customizing your ship. You have the shipyard where you can buy a ship. And you have advanced maintenance for repairing small things like your paint and other tiny little things and or quirks. You can also determine the type of fuel you get. You could determine what you restock and other things. This tab you really don't use much. You're gonna mainly be on these two tabs, and if you're gonna really get anything back, you're gonna use the quick maintenance because you know it's just the most efficient way to do things. You have your livery, which is the paint job of your ship. Your little outside desk here, you can put a bobblehead here and stuff. Change, the lights and all that. And you could change your outfit. And you have your Hollow Me, which we're gonna go into now. This is pretty much your character, and this is unique to Horizons, which is another reason why you should pick up this add-on. So my main character is a male on my other account. So I thought I'd diverse it up, hashtag feminism, let's play as a female. Because who says women can't fly in space? So we have our suit here. We pretty much can only select from these types of suits. And you have to buy the rest of these suits. So we either have our free pack and our vibrant suits. In the vibrant suits, you have this sort of orange, you have this sort of blue, teal, you have purple, you have kind of yellow, green, and then like a darker green. I'm not a big fan of those. You have the flat suits, which is the default black, your red, your blue, your white, your gray, and your green. I'm gonna rock with the white, even though it's a really bright ass white. You have your helmet. There's pretty much two helmets. Have this sort of clear helmet where you can see your character's face, and the dark default helmet. We're gonna rock with the clear suit, clear helmet. Your helmet always on in emergencies, or always on. And we're gonna do emergencies only. This pretty much means that unless your cockpit is busted open and all the air in your ship is being sucked the fuck out, or you're on your SRV. I believe you keep your helmet off on your SRV. I don't know, but your character will only put your helmet on in that case, which may sound dangerous as shit, and it is, but we're gonna do it anyway. Controller batteries are low. We have our sort of decals. Sort of factions, pirate shit, Imperial, but we're not gonna touch any of that because we're not any of those yet. Go to our complexion. We are a very old woman for some reason, and we could be even older, incredibly old. We could be fucking ancient, but let's be young. Skin color. Whoa, holy shit, that is really white. This is alright. Medium fair. What type of free sets are going on? Let's go back to that. Type of head types we got. Let's just go with this move. We're going with a really young person here. I'm not a big fan of the moles. Freckles. Never been a real fan of them. We're just gonna have a pretty good face with some asymmetry. Let's have a symmetrical face because this is the future, and I'm pretty sure we could do some shit like that. We can have some scars. Let's not. Let's get rid of this hair. What type of hair are we working with? These are obviously male hairs. Female hairs are at the bottom. I don't know why. It's sort of a mix of hairs. Yeah. Sort of a jumbled up mess of hair. No real long hair here. Gonna be shaven. Let's rock with the Just rock with this. This is alright. We have a mission critical message. Get to that in a little bit. Um, let's go with sort of a dirty blondish type of hair. Let's actually change our hair. What is this? I look at this. Zach and Cody hair. All right, let's rock with this. Sort of. Now this is like the Justin Bieber. Let's not rock with a Justin Bieber. We can go with like the bob hair. Be future to the max. I don't really like that. That makes me look like Geralt from fucking The Witcher. Let's not do that. Yeah, they need to add some more hairstyles. Like I never thought that'd be that hard because my hair is like this, pretty much. So it was really easy for me to make my male character. Let's rock with the bob. Yeah, let's rock with the bob. I hate like spending a whole bunch of time on this, but I'm one of those people that like I'm really into like having a character that I feel like looks appealing, even though we'll probably never see her face 90% of the time. Let's rock with the bob, and then you can't have a bob without it being like black. We just have to have it like that. Just that's the way it's gotta go. Eyes. Next eyes. What type of eye presets do we got? Let's rock with this. Our chick looks a little bit Asian, but you know, if anybody could own space, I'm pretty sure it'd be China. We can get some lipstick, some blush. We don't need any of that. We'll touch upon this later. I'll probably go back and customize it. Pretty much that's gonna be our character. We can go back and change this at any time, whenever we feel suit. So let's go check out that mission critical message. I think it's a good time to explain this tab up here. So this is your local chat. This is pretty much determined to your system. You can hear the police talking, you can see minors talking, pretty much everybody talks on this channel. AIs and real people alike. Here is your wing. Since we're not in a wing, which is a little party, there won't be anything here for a while, but who knows? Well, we might have some special guests on the episode. Here are, once again, sort of more messages. These are sort of determined for groups and direct messages. This is really a side thing. Oh, yeah, see? Oh, these tabs will be pretty active, but this is your most active tag. This is your mission tab. Here, you'll get messages from, you know, pretty much your missions, and you'll get notifications about your rank ups and all that stuff. This is just sort of a welcome to the world message, and this is, you know, you can turn on and off channels. This tab right here is your navigation tab. You can see the systems, nav beacons, conflict zones, which I'm pretty sure it's self-explanatory, ports, and other places you can go. Transactions, which is so far we have this one mission, which is a tutorial mission. It's pretty much here, have some free money, just deliver this information. Everybody gets this. These are contacts, so these are ships that are near us, and this list will grow and shrink, and you can improve how many contacts you have on this by your scanner. You have these high wakes, which is pretty much somebody going into hyperdrive, which in this game is called frame shift drive. So here's the type of ships. We had to, you know, look at these things and scan them to identify who's in the ship, if they're in a wing, aka meaning if they're with some friends, if they're wanted, where they're from, what faction they're a part of, yada yada. We'll see this a lot in action later on, and these These tabs are going to be your best friends. We have 2 tabs here that are grayed out, sub-targets, which is pretty much if I'm locked onto a ship, I can target specific parts of the enemy ship to attack, such as the shield generator or the power plant, all that. Inventory, pretty much it's when we're locked into a ship, we can see what they're carrying. This is mainly used if we wanted to be pirates, and for this we need a manifest scanner, which we don't have. So there's also, you can hold buttons down to, cheat sheet into this. For example, we can go into the camera suite, which is a third person. Here's our landing gear. Here is us in our ship. Around our joystick. Here's behind us, side view, front view, and this is our sidewinder, aka the SS bucket, the piece of shit. Behind us, all that. So what else? Well, let's go back into start part services and explain everything here. So this is the commodities market. Here you can buy and sell things specific to the station. So since this is a extraction station, we can usually just buy minerals, raw minerals, such as cobalt, gold, palladium, silver, all that. As you can see, there's a supply, how much you can buy. There's the cost of buying it, 4,300 credits. The cost of selling it, 4,272. And the galactic average on buying and pretty much selling. These prices change depending on what type of system you're in and what type of station you're at. So, for example, we're at an extraction station, meaning that buying raw materials is pretty cheap, and selling them, you'll pretty much majority of the time make a deficit. There's no point in selling here because they already have it. They have a surplus. But as you can see, performance enhancers, technology especially, and if this was a imperial station, slaves, because yes, there is slavery, more like indentured servitude, but they're called slaves, and explosives, fuel, not really fuel, but clothing, technology especially. These are things that the station does not have. This is something they don't produce, meaning that they'll be more willing to buy it for a higher price. This is pretty much the essence of trading. There's more things that you can really get into later, but yeah, we'll do that later, like I said. Next is the mission board. This is where you can get missions. There's several different types of missions. There's also community goals, which are sort of massive group things that the whole community does, and depending on what you've done, you will get paid for. This is also a really, really good way to make money. As you can see, the top 10 people get 19 million credits, plus your global awards, which is a fucking lot. These have all types of different goals. Most of them are delivering things or fighting. And we'll get into these when we have a better ship. And usually these are very fucking far away from where you are a lot of the time. So we'll definitely need a long-range ship to do something like this. And the Sidewinder is not that. Here, the sort of station factions, they all sort of have their own allegiances. And you can see these guys are Federation, this guy's a part of the Alliance. Some of these people are just sort of freelance, criminals, that types of that. And they give us missions depending on, our skill, our reputation with them, and stuff like that. We can get a reputation up by doing the sort of missions that we can do, or by just killing their enemies or stuff like that. So it is important to manage these, especially when you find a station that you really want to call your home station, where you're going to spend a lot of time there. Important to get that up. And the mission board is where we're going to be making a majority of our beginning game money. Next is the passenger lounge, which is something that we're not going to touch for a fair while. But pretty much this is where you can find people to transport from place to place. Those other missions are sort of random missions in the mission board, but these are specifically missions where you're transporting, important, tourists, scientists, just regular people, to different systems or to different points. These missions pay a lot, but they also usually tend to be very far apart from where you get them. And your passengers will demand certain things, demand certain cabins, and this is very expensive. And usually the ships that can do this don't have the best defenses because they're sort of just flying buses. But they also pay off a lot of fucking money, as you can see with this one. Next is your contacts. These are where you can pay off your fines, your D bounties, trade dividends, intel packages, bonds, which are once again sort of just advanced fines. And this is also where you can go to the black market and sell things that you can't sell at the commodities market, such as sleeves. And usually things that you sell at the black market pay a lot more because they're illegally obtained goods. And certain goods are illegal depending on the ruling faction. Not the system faction, but the main faction. So this is a Federation exploit. No, this is an Alliance exploited system. My bad. I didn't see that. It is an Alliance exploited faction, meaning that Imperial slaves are illegal here because slavery is outlawed by the Alliance. Had to take a drink of tea there. This is the crew lounge. This is Universal Cartographics. Yeah, whatever. The map, guys. This is pretty much where you sell any data on planets, systems, stuff like that. And it's a nice little thing to get some extra cash. And if you really get into it, getting advanced scanners and stuff like that, you can make a ludicrous amount of fucking money by just jumping in and out of systems, scanning stuff. And this really racks up. I know somebody that spent probably 6-7 hours doing this, and they made around like 20 million. But they had just an advanced ass ship with ridiculous jump range and really good scanners. But this is a good way to make money, little side money, no matter who the hell you are. This is the crew lounge, something we won't be using for a long, long time because we can't hold a fighter bay. But this is pretty much where you can hire AI to pilot ships for you. When you get a big enough ship, you can have a fighter bay, and it will house these people's ships, and they will fight for you. They will protect your ship. These people are fucking expensive, and they have different ranks that which determine how good they are in combat. As you can see, this guy is an expert, so the cost of hiring him is 150,000, but he's very good. Contrast, this harmless guy, which is like us, is only 15,000. And this might seem like a lot, but $1 million isn't a lot of money in this game. So, they're pretty useful to have. And these are a one-time buy. So you hire them once and they're there forever and you don't have to pay them ever again. But they will take a share, as you can see, of your profit. So that guy's profit share was 12%, meaning that any money you make, they take a percentage off of it. So be wary when you hire these people. So I'm pretty sure that's everything. Also in this contacts tab, eventually there will be another tab in here called power contacts, which is where you can talk to your faction that you pledged to. On that note, let's talk about these tabs right here. So you can set filters that determine, maybe you want to filter out, ports, or you want to filter out planets. You can set a filter, stars, asteroid clusters, all that. This is the galaxy map. We'll open this in a little bit. Here's your system map. And this is something we won't use a lot, but it is something pretty useful. It's the map of the system you're in. Here we are on this planet. Right here. Here's the other planets in the system. Here's the sun. Here's all of that. You can set filters. You can bookmark certain things. Here's information. But we really won't be using that. We'll be using this, the galaxy map. This is a map of, as you can tell, the entire galaxy. Yeah. So this world is huge. Remember, this is us. This is the entire galaxy. Yeah. This galaxy is based pretty much on real life. Dude, there is Earth. And there are systems that NASA has confirmed, fine. We can set what type of map we want. We can have a power play map, this is pretty much the factions. Pretty much shows the space owned by each of the faction. It will hurt your eyes, but soon you'll get used to it. It's pretty useful to find. You can select certain factions where you want to find. You can show their headquarters. We can view an overview of the faction. What type of system we want to find, all that. There's a regular map which shows you, where you can jump to and which places lead to which. And there's a realistic, which is just sort of the default map. We're going to be on the power play map. It may hurt your eyes at first, but you'll get used to it. I got used to it, and it's pretty much the most useful map in my opinion. Especially when you get into power play. There's markers, and you can set stuff off on. You can show constellations and stuff. We're not gonna mess with any of that. Bookmark systems. You can set courses. For example, if I wanted to go to Dahan, where our objective is, there you go. Select it. I can plot a route, bookmark it, show a map of the system power. Who's doing what. So right now we're in Edmund Moon space, but you're probably wondering who the hell is that and why the hell is he important? Well, that means we're gonna have to go to the galactic powers. So there's Galnet, which is GalaxyNet, and this is pretty much your news channel. This is your Fox News at 11 or whatever the hell you want. There's hourly updates talking about the economy of each faction and their strength and who's getting stronger, who's getting weaker, what's going on. Who's winning, who's losing, stuff like that. As you can see, there was a combat, there's a war combat port there. So this is pretty important, but seeing as we're just getting into this, and this really doesn't affect us a whole ton. This will be left pretty much to when we get deeper into the game, and for advanced players who really get into the moving, shifting economy of this game. This is an important tab that everybody should pretty much know. So this is each faction in the game. There are allegiance. So Edmund Mahon. I don't know why I say Edmund Moon. That's not his name. But Edmund, he's number one in power. He's the strongest leader there is so far. And he's been that way for a while. He's just strong. Each faction has their own types of government, in expanding, finance, all that. There's rewards for pledging to them. And each faction gives you a little bonus on equipment. So Mahon here, as you can see at rank 3, unlocks Retribution. After 4 weeks aligned to this power, this is a small beam laser which causes enhanced heat damage. We'll get into that more, but pretty much it's just a stronger weapon, and we'll get into weapons, like I said. But, there's penalties for leaving. So if you leave the power, you lose your ratings, and you won't be able to join another power for 12 hours. And if you defect, so if you leave up this power and join another power, all your merits, you'll get half your merits, which is pretty much like things that you get for rank in the factions. And depending on how far you up in the faction, you'll be targeted by pretty much the like police of this faction. So, if you defect, they're gonna hunt for your ass. There's preparation, which is, the systems that your faction plans to take over. Expansion, sort of the same thing. What type of systems you're going to expand into. Control, what systems you own. And, fortifying, or what planets are fortified, meaning like protected. And what planets are under threat. Well, systems, not really planets. And just overall statistics about your faction. As you can see, his headquarters is located. Controlled systems see a 20% reduction to hull reinforcements and cargo racks in cost. You get 4 times greater there's 4 times greater production and consumption of agricultural goods and equipment, meaning that it is a good place to buy and sell food. There's a 5% price reduction in agricultural goods and equipment, and independent and alliance factions activity influence are boosted, meaning that you rank up quicker, and ranking up with the Federation or Empire is slower. You can see Empire 50% reduction. Reduction of production and consumption of agricultural goods, 5% increase in price in agricultural goods. Same thing with the Federation. Independent, 10% price increase in agricultural and food goods, 4 times greater production, all that. Pretty much just means that it's good. You'll get a whole bunch of bonuses for being in your friendly faction space. That's control. So that's Mahon. So you're probably wondering, like, what's the difference between all these people? I said the Empire and Federation are at war. What's up with the Alliance and the Independence? Well, the Alliance is sort of a whole... It's pretty much this whole conglomerate of people who are like, hey, we don't want to be a part of the Federation or the Empire, so we're just gonna make one giant confederacy. It's pretty much like the CIS. It's from Star Wars. It's just a whole bunch of systems that were like, hey, we don't want to deal with any of this bullshit, so we're gonna succeed from y'all guys, from you. So they're pretty much on their own. They're not with any of that war stuff, and they're just sort of their group of a whole bunch of systems that are under this guy. And they're just one group that said, hey, like I said, fuck those 2 guys. And he is pretty much the only Alliance guy. That's it. He's the most important, and he's sort of the head prime minister. He's the prime minister, so, yeah. Then there's the Empire, which is, I'm going to fuck that up, so I'm just going to say A. Duval, Zamina Torval, Aisling Duval, Denton, and I'm pretty sure that's it. So these 4 individuals are all Empire faction, and they're all pretty much vying to be the head of the entire Empire, because the Empire was founded by a guy whose last name was Duval, and I'm pretty sure this is his daughter. These 2 are his daughters. I'm not really read up on the lore, but the Empire, they're all about sort of a dictatorial, sort of old school kind of rule. Your run-of-the-mill empire. All of them, aside from Aisling, are pro-slavery. how slavery works in this game is it isn't like deep South American slavery. It is indentured servitude. So people who have outstanding debts or war criminals, you will become a slave until you are freed. I don't even think like till your sentence is up, or you could pay off your debts and then you're free. So imperial slaves, as they're called in the can be bought and sold in the commodities market or the black market. Like sold in the black market. And they're a very good trade good because they're illegal and there's a high demand for them sort of everywhere, especially in extraction sites like this. But like I said, they're illegal, so you gotta watch out. If you get scanned by authorities in a place where imperial slaves aren't allowed, they will fuck you up. So, the top is Langley Duvall. I don't know. So she is pretty much the second. She's the most powerful Empire person. And as you can see from this, the Empire is pretty much fucking up the Federation. But the Federation's doing a lot better. When I first started playing this game, it was Mayhan, Zamina, then it was her, A. Duvall, then it was Aisling, and then it was Felicia Winters. But Aisling Duvall, we're just having some problems. That's why by the way, I'm pledged to Aisling Duvall on my main account. And she is pretty cool. She has some advantages. But each of these factions have their own plus and minuses. As you can see here, if you pledge to her, you get a multi-shot railgun, and these sort of merits are the merits required to rank up is the same. All the ratings are the same for each faction. It's pretty much the only thing that pretty much differs is the payouts, like the little perks. So for her, for example, at rating 5, you get 100% increase on bounty payouts and controlled systems. But the credit rewards are the same for every single faction. So what's up with the independent people? Well, the independent people are, as the name implies, independent. They're the least popular out of every single faction. As you can see, there is no independent person in the top 5. And they are the most unpopular out of every single person. The only person that's behind the independent faction is Denton, and Denton is an asshole, which sucks because Denton's he's the only black guy. So thanks, but he's also a dick. So be that as you may. I apologize to anybody who is a Praetor. I don't even know how to say this guy's name, but one of his sentinels. But he is an asshole. You can read up on each of these people's lore, and I recommend you do that in the free time. Cause I don't feel like sitting here and explaining all these fucking people. Bonuses aside from the person who we're gonna join. Who, in my main account, I am, like I said, a part of Aisling's Angels. I pledged to Aisling Duvall. She's fucking great. But, that's, I'm getting real sick of playing as an Empire faction. So, I'm going to join the Federation on this account, because I'm playing on a different account. As you can see, I was on my side account, Rubik Jungle, not my regular YNDX Slayer account. So, I'm probably going to pledge to Felicia Winters. Like I said, the Federation is split up into the 2 main branches. You have Zachary Hudson, and you have Felicia Winters. I want to say, Felicia. Felicia? I don't know. Felicia. I like Felicia Winters. She is the more liberal leader. Um, we should do what is right, not necessarily what is easy or popular. She's like I said, more of the liberal side of the Federation, which the Federation, I guess you could see, is America, space America. And Zachary Hudson is the more conservative person. Um, Everyone has the opportunity to work or serve. Slogan. So, they differ in what they're cool with and what their priorities are. Zachary Hudson, he gives he gives a stronger, his little special weapon or part is a stronger, it's a large fragmentation cannon with decreased damage but increased range and tighter spread, which is the fragmentation cannon is a giant shotgun that you can put on your ship. Alicia Winters, on the other hand, gives you, scroll over it, you get a pulse disruptor. It's a medium pulse weapon that causes modules to malfunctions. So, if you're looking for a specific part, these are sort of your factions to go to. And it's the main reason why Mayhan is probably the most popular faction in the game, because beam lasers are very good weapons. They're one of the better weapons in the game, if not the best laser weapon in the game. There are different types of weapons, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I think the main reason why a lot of people pledge to him is because, one, people really don't want to deal with any of the bullshit between the Federation and the Empire, because if you are a part of the Empire and you're in Federation space, people can blow you the fuck up, and they won't be wanted for it because you're in enemy space, and vice versa. But if you're a part of the Alliance, you can go into anybody's space without any consequences. Please note that the AI will not instantly blow you up if you're part of the Empire and you're in Federation space, and vice versa. But players are pretty much have free reign to fuck you up without any consequence, because you're at war. And I feel like a lot of people don't want to really deal with that, and they see this guy having better lasers, so they're like, hey, I'll join him. Because he does, the fucking beam lasers are pretty ridiculously strong. But we'll probably join Felicia Winters. Now you're probably wondering, well, why can't you pledge? Well, the thing is, I am not at a higher enough rank. I have to have good enough skill, and just overall rank to join factions. So, like I said, in the very beginning of this, these are important things to think about, but at the very beginning of the game, you don't really have to worry about these. These sort of bonuses, but they're good things to keep in your mind. Oh, and the independents, like I said, way back, I feel like I didn't touch on these guys enough. They just do their own thing. Yeah. And they also, like, I like the Alliance. Like, nobody really fucks around with these people. Like, you won't get blown up on sight. I believe some of the independent people are at war with some and others. I don't know. The independents aren't that important. I hate to say it. Like, they have good bonuses. Like, this guy's a burst laser. This guy has good missiles. But the thing is, they're so fucking weak, and nobody ever plays as them, and they have such little space, and they're just... If you want to be the underdogs, join the independent factions. But for for this playthrough, we'll probably join the Federation. Why not join the Alliance, you might say? Well, I mean, the Alliance sadly don't give you any ships for ranking up, and I don't know. I just felt like being on the opposite side of my main account spectrum. This sort of right tab, you can see, I'm not pledged to an alliance, so I can't view this. But that right tab, when you pledge to an alliance, pretty much just gives you a little cheat sheet to this page, to your alliance overview. So I'm pretty sure that is it. Oh, one more thing. There's fire groups, which we'll look at later. Turn these on. There's your ship cargo and your inventory, what type of stuff you're carrying. Synthesis is for like building stuff for your SRV, which is your little rover. Cabins is passengers that you're carrying on your ship. Functions are, you know, your ship's stuff. Landing gear, your cargo scoop, which is to pick stuff up. Your beacon, silent running, all that shite. Turn on our lights. You have ship here, the little ring around your ship down there in the bottom corner is your shields. This is your where you are over here. The wep and systems is your weapons, energy, engines, and your systems power. With how much power is going into what. If you put more power into it, it'll be better. If you have less power into it, it'll be worse. Usually, I recommend if you're not in combat, just have full power to your engines and a little bit power to your shields. When you get into combat, of course, power up your systems and your weapons, because your systems are your shields. Weapons are, well, your weapons. You can see that we're mass locked, meaning that we can't go into frame shift, which is slip space, until we